Please come. Please make yourself comfortable.
Good morning.
Good morning.
आप अपने बारे में ऐसा कुछ बताइए कि सब कुछ जान लें।
I would like to tell you about my qualifications. So I have completed my secondary education from St. Paul Senior Secondary School, Ullamnagar, Kota. Then I did my senior secondary education from Modi Public School. I completed my graduation from Government Arts Girls College in English Literature, Home Science and Political Science. Then I chose English Literature as my subject for my master's, and I've completed it in 2023 from Government Arts College, Kota, and I'm from Kota.
अपने hobbies लिख रखी है writing and
So to be more specific, it is diary writing and crocheting. The threads you create, embroidered things.
आप कोटा के रहने वाले हैं।
जी
कोटा में जैसे चंबल का जो पार्ट है
जी सर।
वो ऐसी कौन सी भौगोलिक परिस्थिति है जिसके कारण जैसे वहां एक तो जंगल बने
जी सर।
और इस जो चंबल नदी है इसके सारे भौगोलिक रूप से कोई धरातलीय एक परिवर्तन आपको दिखाई दे रहा हो, उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए।
सर वहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा इरोजन हुआ है, तो बहुत डीप वैलीज बन गई है, खुदरा हुआ भाग है सर बहुत ज़्यादा वो पूरा, इसीलिए वहाँ पे सर थोड़ा पुराने समय में एग्रीकल्चर करना भी मुश्किल था। अपर्दन जिसको बोलते हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा है कोटा में, स्टीप है क्योंकि वो, तो वो बहुत अंदर वैली में बहती है और जब वो कोटा में एंटर करती है तो वो ऐसे वैली बनाती हुए एंटर करती है कोटा में।
राजनीतिक रूप से देखा जाए तो कोटा में ऐसी कौन सी शख्सियत है जो देश का प्रतिनिधित्व करती है?
सर जो स्पीकर है माननीय ओम बिरला जी, वो कोटा के ही सांसद हैं।
ओम बिरला जी कितनी बार सांसद रह चुके हैं?
सर वो लास्ट टर्म में भी यहीं कोटा से ही सांसद थे।
स्पीकर क्या होता है, इसके बारे में क्या
सर जो स्पीकर है वो पार्लियामेंट का हेड होता है, तो पार्लियामेंट का सुचारू रूप से संचालन करना स्पीकर की ही जिम्मेदारी होता है, तो वो बोलने का टाइम देते हैं और वो डिसिप्लिन मेंटेन करते हैं पूरे पार्लियामेंट का।
स्पीकर को अगर हमें हटाना हो
जी
तो ये पावर किसके पास?
सर पार्लियामेंट के पास ही होती है, पहले हमें
पार्लियामेंट के पास?
जी सर, उनको हटाया जा सकता है एक बिल।
पूरी पार्लियामेंट या कोई व्यक्ति विशेष है?
नहीं सर, व्यक्ति विशेष नहीं, 3/4 मेजोरिटी से हम उनका बिल पास करके उनको हटा सकते हैं।
कोई ऐसा कोई उन पे चार्ज या कोई अभियोग कुछ लगाया जा सकता?
जी सर, अगर कोई सेटिस्फाई नहीं है तो उनके ऊपर अभियोग
उसका पर्टिकुलर नाम?
एग्जैक्ट नाम सर मुझे नहीं पता। जी सर, मुझे एग्जैक्ट नाम नहीं पता।
जी, do you write?
Yes, I maintain a diary, a personal diary.
Okay.
That's what
Quote
I write.
any 2 lines of your creative writing.
I've written that be confident in your thoughts. Confidence is that stream, the current of which can carry you wherever you want.
What do you know about Samuel Pepys?
Samuel Pepys also was a prominent diary writer. His diary is a document that helps us to know about the period from Charles II's restoration. So he maintained his diary from the day when Charles II was restored, from January 1st, 1660 for 9 years.
What is restoration?
So restoration is a political situation when after the period of Oliver Cromwell's death, monarchy was restored to.
There is a poet who wrote a poetry on the return of Cromwell. So
it was John Dryden, on the glorious memory of Annus Mirabilis. He wrote to welcome him, and he wrote one more poet.
What are the major genres of literature?
So tragedy.
Okay. Tragedy.
Tragedy, comedy, satire. Then.
What is flash fiction?
So I don't know.
What are the recent trends in literature?
So in these days, science fiction novels are in vogue.
Okay.
How does Aristotle define tragedy?
So according to Aristotle, tragedy is a mimesis of a serious action, that is mimesis of an action that is serious, complete, and of a certain magnitude, not in narration but in action.
What is catharsis?
So catharsis is purification of emotions through the emotion by generating or evoking the emotions of pity and fear in the audience.
What is the difference between denouement and catharsis?
So denouement. Sir, I know this term, but I'm not able to
A
recall.
neologism. What is neologism?
I don't know, sir.
You must have heard the name of Dante. He has written a great epic, Divine Comedy.
Yes.
In how many sections it is divided?
So it is in 3 sections.
Please name.
So Paradiso, Purgatorio, and Hell. No, yes, Paradiso and Purgatorio. I know the third one I'm not able to name.
Have you prepared something to teach us?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead. Who is your favorite writer?
So in poets I like Robert Frost.
Robert Frost. Okay, so would you like to teach us about
Sir, I
Robert
have
Frost?
prepared John Donne today.
Okay,
for
you have
teaching.
prepared John. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So have you ever been defamiliarized with the general notions you have in mind? So today we are going to learn about
Good.
or have your perceptions been broken? Have your
No, sorry. Continue.
or have your perceptions been broken down by something startling that you heard of a thing that you consider to be very familiar to yourself? So today we are going to discuss and learn about such a poet who always said something new about commonplace things. It is John Donne, considered to be the father of metaphysical poet. And we are going to discuss a sonnet of his, Death Be Not Proud. Death be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and powerful. For thou art not so.
You don't need to write.
You don't need to write the whole poem. You can just explain.
So death be not proud, for though many have called you mighty and dreadful. So in the very first line itself, John Donne breaks the general perception of death being very powerful. And he, like a very good lawyer, goes on to give arguments after arguments of breaking this general notion. And he concludes his sonnet by saying, one short sleep past, we wake eternally, death thou shalt die. And he gives his arguments. For example, he compares death sleep to that of sleep that is induced by charms and poppies, and that sleep is more comfortable. So, and as soonest our best men with thee do go, why swellest thou then, he says.
Could you please summarize in 2 lines?
So in Death Be Not Proud, the author wants us to have a new notion of death. He breaks the idea that death is powerful and compares it to be a very feeble slave to fate, to chance, to kings and desperate men.
If you want to give a message to the students, what would be the message of the poem?
The message of the poem is that death is something inevitable. So we don't need to think about death or contemplate about death, but to live life to the fullest.
Okay.
Please be seated.
Please. There is a reference of mandrake root. Right.
Not in this one.
Please be seated. Okay, this poem starts with a figure speech. What figure speech is there?
It's personification.
It's personification. Okay.
What is apostrophe?
So apostrophe is a direct address to a thing.
So isn't it apostrophe?
Yes, it is apostrophe as well and personification.
Right. What is metonymy?
So metonymy is giving a part
Give an
signifies.
example of that.
For example, we say 10 heads. So we mean 10 people instead of 10 heads.
Okay.
And then synecdoche?
Synecdoche.
It is synecdoche actually. Sorry.
Yeah. Exactly.
So actually you mentioned that it is a sonnet.
Yeah.
So who introduced sonnet in England?
Thomas Wyatt
And
and Olive Surrey. Henry Howard.
so they used blank verse. So what is blank verse?
So blank verse is a writing style which doesn't have rhyme, but it follows iambic pentameter.
Okay. So what is volta? There is volta in
Yes.
sonnets.
So in Petrarchan sonnets, we have octave and sestet. So in the sestet, there is a slight change in the thought. So that is volta, a
And then-
slight turn in the
The pause between that.
yeah.
And
What is
volta is word taken from which language?
So, I don't know.
What is the rhyme scheme of Petrarchan sonnet?
So A B B A A B B A. octave, and then the sestet varies, sir. CDC, or it varies from writers to writers.
Very good.
Express in one line what is metaphysical poetry.
Sir, according to, I would like to quote Dr. Samuel Johnson. He said that there appear to be a race of writers who can be termed as metaphysical poets, and they yoked two heterogeneous ideas by violence together.
Well, two major characteristics of metaphysical.
So one is the idea, saying something novel, and the second one is conceit.
What is conceit?
Yes.
Sir, again, to quote Dr. Samuel Johnson, conceit is to find occult resemblances in things which are apparently dissimilar.
Any example from the poem you taken up?
Sir, conceit, death is compared to be a slave. So you are a slave to chance.
Hold your tongue and let me love, or chide my palsy or my gout. From which poem it is taken?
I've heard it. Just give me a second. Canonization.
Very good.
Last question.
Yes.
After becoming an assistant professor, हायर एजुकेशन में ऐसा क्या करेंगे कि स्टूडेंट्स की जो इंग्लिश लिटरेचर के प्रति जो थोड़ा सा एक डर है या एक ऐसी रुचि कैसे डेवलप करें?
सर, कॉलेजेस में क्योंकि हिंदी मीडियम बैकग्राउंड से लोग आते हैं ज्यादातर, तो उनकी इंग्लिश बहुत फेमिलियर नहीं होती है, एंड देयर इज अ जनरल फियर ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर. तो सबसे पहले उनको बेसिक से स्टार्ट कराना जरूरी है, क्योंकि जैसे हम एक इनिशिएटिव ले सकते हैं कि कॉलेजेस में जो कंपलसरी पेपर्स होता है उसमें एक सिंपल बहुत जो बुक्स यूनिवर्सिटीज में प्रिस्क्राइब की जाती है.
आज ये देखा जाता है कि अटेंडेंस बिल्कुल
जी सर.
10-20%.
जी सर.
उसके लिए आप क्या करें?
सर, एक्चुअली एफर्ट्स तो लिए गए हैं कि 75% अटेंडेंस कंपलसरी, अगर हम उसे ही बहुत स्ट्रिक्टली इम्प्लीमेंट कर दें एग्जिस्टिंग रूल्स को. सर, जैसे हम मिड टर्म एग्जाम्स और असाइनमेंट्स लेके आ सकते हैं, तो शेड्यूल बहुत पैक्ड होना चाहिए.
वो सब अभी किया गया है एनईपी बढ़िया.
जी सर.
एनईपी में ऐसा सब कुछ कर दिया है, फिर भी ऐसा कुछ रिजल्ट आ नहीं रहा है, आप क्या करेंगे? क्या स्पेशल होगा?
सर, क्लासरूम्स को हम बहुत ज़्यादा इंगेजिंग बना सकते हैं. हम अगर स्टूडेंट को कॉलेज में आना रेलेवेंट लगेगा तो वो ऑब्वियसली कॉलेजेस में आएंगे. तो ये जो जनरल परसेप्शन है कि कॉलेज में आने का.
आप क्या करेंगे?
सर, ओके. तो सर, मैं डायलॉग्स और सर आई वुड मेक माय टीचिंग इंटरैक्टिव एंड एंगेजिंग. And we can, other than classroom teaching, we can engage in many more activities so that the students become interested and hooked to the classes.
One more question I want to know.
Yeah.
So, in NEP,
Yeah.
the local tongues have been given priority.
Yeah.
And English has been in a way sidelined. So, what is your point of view on that?
Sir, I feel in today's world, English is very important, and it is like going back in time. Though the mother tongue teachings of mother tongue are important, but giving them equal importance is fine. But English shouldn't be sidelined because we want our students to stand at par.
If you are posted somewhere in a rural area,
Yeah.
and your motive is to teach them English, how would you teach them?
So first of all, there should be strong motivation behind teaching English. So they need to have interest, and then by making them watching engaging movies, say in English, and then
What medium would you use? It would be bilingual, multilingual, or what?
So to begin with, it must be bilingual.
And when would you come to the the whole English medium, all through the English?
So once they have a general simple vocabulary of understanding simple sentences in English.
What is the best way to promote, in a way, enhance diction, our own diction?
So to give them, not to make it fearful, to give them simple topics to think about. Say, just tell me your family routine, or tell me what interests you, and then trying to generate vocabulary, because people generally when we speak in Hindi also, we tend to use many English words. So the vocabulary is inbuilt. We need to just say, if we begin with 50% Hindi and 50% English, we need to slowly and gradually try to increase the usage of English, and that can be done to improve them.
Very good, very good.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.